Heartbeat Alaska is brought to you in part by Brown's Electric Lighting Gallery. Thank you, Brown's Electric, for your generous support of Heartbeat Alaska. Heartbeat Alaska is made possible by Kupik Carlisle Transportation, your full-service transportation and logistics company.
Heartbeat Alaska is also brought to you by Frontier Flying Service. Thank you, Frontier, for getting Heartbeat Alaska airborne.
1, 2, 3, 4, let's go.
It's Heartbeat.
It's a fabulous show.
Alaska.
Hi, Heartbeat Alaska.
It's Heartbeat. Alaska.
Pull up a chair and enjoy the show.
Hear it from Sitka to Barrow. Gather around for Jeannie's show. It's the Aleut, the Indian, and the Eskimo. It's the Aleut, the Indian, and the Eskimo.
Welcome one, welcome all.
Hello and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska Native News and Information. I'm Jeannie Green. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we travel to Northwest Alaska to Kotzebue for the Northwest Native Trade Fair, Kattivik. For centuries, natives would converge in this very spot for commerce and trade and just to say hello and get to know each other and visit once again. Today, let's go to Kattivik, a place of gathering for Native people. Last week, we took a look at the first day of the 2004 Kattivik Northwest Native Trade Fair. There was drumming and dancing and games and activities for all ages, including a best Udukluk and Parky competition. And although the weather confined the events to indoors, day 2 of the trade fair would be blessed with good weather and outdoor activities.
We met every week, and it was based on the need of our Kotzebue Elders Council that wanted to make sure we celebrate being Inupiaq and celebrate being healthy Inupiaq, celebrate being proud Inupiaq, and they wanted to make sure that we have festivities where we could continuously celebrate who we are.
Some of the events that you saw here today, yesterday, especially the athletic events, are games of strength, games of agility, games of endurance. And those were some of the necessary attributes that an individual needed in order to survive in a climate such as ours. We're still a hunting society here. And prior to all of this modern technology that we've come into in the last, especially the last 50 years, a lot of it was still dependent on manpower and being able to be strong and be strong for long, and sometimes being strong long and then enduring pain were attributes that people needed. And so the Inupiaq people of the North developed games that tested all of those things.
The kneel jump is one of those games that develops leg muscles and the ability to move quickly. When out on the ice, a hunter must be able to move quickly and jump from ice pack to ice pack. The 2-foot high kick is similar to the 1-foot high kick, except participants must leave the ground with both feet, kick the ball, and land on both feet while maintaining their balance. While the 2-foot high kick was wrapping up, there was another event starting up. Leg wrestling was another popular event at this year's trade fair. Opponents lay opposite of each other and lock their arms together. Then the opponents swing their legs up and down for a count of 3. On the third count, they hook their ankles together and the game becomes a battle of strength. The object is to overturn your opponent.
1, 2, 3.
Cheer them on. Get.
To my knowledge, there are probably games for almost every part of the body. I kid you not. There are games for the fingers, finger pull. There are games for the wrist pull. There are games from the arms, arm pull. In addition to other games like the knuckle hop. There are games, we used to get like twine, or we used twine later, but I think it was sinew originally. You get two people sitting back to back, and you get a long twine and you put it around your nose, and then it becomes a tug of war. There were games that were meant just nothing to be but fun. And one is to sit down, grab your toes, and so the only part of your body touching the floor was your behind, and then hopping and using your legs to propel you. So it wasn't always serious. Some of these games were a lot of fun.
One event that was a lot of fun and still a common practice amongst the native people of Alaska, especially during the summer at fish camps, was the water bucket race. The object: race to the water's edge, fill your buckets with water as fast as you can, and race back to the finish line.
When you're at camp, you have to haul water, you have to empty your cooked-up. It's just a part of life. So to turn everyday things that we do in our everyday lives into fun and game and competition, and that was a lot of fun to do that.
2, 3, 4.
The blanket toss was as popular as ever. Here, participants are tossed on a blanket that is made of several sealskins sewn together. It's a fun activity that's used in celebrations today. But more than that, the blanket toss has served as an important role in Inupiaq history.
Hey, get up!
Nullikutuk, the blanket toss. The blanket toss was a function, not a game. And in the Nullikutuk, in the blanket toss, carries many lessons of life. It's a big skin, usually of walrus or bearded seal, that are sewn together with ropes looped on the outer edges, handles for people to grab. And on a big skin, it normally takes about 40 or 50 people to get around and man it. And you need so many people in order to toss a person who's in the middle up as high as they can. One function of the Nullikutuk, the blanket toss, was as a scouting, a way to see longer distances in a flat country. We live in a flat country. The other way is, in some of the whaling communities, after a successful whaling season, women who gave birth to sons from one whaling season to the next would use that as a time to share gifts with the elders in the hopes that their son would grow up to be successful members of the whaling communities. And the other part of that celebration is for new captains who would be catching their first whale. They would get up and their whole crew would be tossed as a part of the celebration.
After a short break, it was time to begin the dancing.
Dancing is the major highlight of getting together to celebrate. So we're just really honored to have our 7 dance groups here. And if we had more time for planning and we know that we're going to do more trade fairs, then we need to let other dance groups know, not only from Alaska and Russia, but from Canada and Greenland, and invite a lot of the Arctic peoples together to celebrate. Nowadays, there's a lot of younger dancers. Our elders are passing on. And so now a lot of the drummers, a lot of the dancers, a lot of the singers are all young. It was awesome to listen to dancers walk on 3rd Street, practicing and singing their hearts out on 3rd Street, walking and singing their Eskimo dance songs. So the dancers are getting younger and younger.
Throughout the day and into the evening, the songs and dances of the Inupiaq people filled the air. You can even hear the beating drums from the nearby concession stands, where there was plenty of food and other things to do. Lena Jones took the time to give several people a demonstration on cleaning a seal. The bearded seal, or ugruk, has always been an important animal to the Inupiaq. Besides being used for the blanket toss, ugruk skins are used to cover the umiaks, or skin boats, used in spring whaling. To Lena, this is just part of her daily life. She has cleaned hundreds of seal in her days and was more than happy to demonstrate her techniques to a captivated crowd. While all this was taking place, there were also races going. However, these races didn't require fast feet and strong legs, just strong arms and stamina.
There's a kayak race today. Unfortunately, we don't have the old style kayaks. What we have are ready-made. What we had to order because nowadays, with the outboards and such, people really don't rely on a kayak anymore too much because we got the ready-made ones that we can keep year after year without having to change the skin.
For these seasoned veterans, there was a fish cutting contest.
Make way for the cutters.
There they go, let's cheer them on. It's the fish cutting contest. Cheer them on. Give her a hand. Ready. 2, 3. Renetta, then Marie. 3, let's go. Back up, Willie.
There was also a duck-plucking contest. It was a 3-day celebration that not only allowed participants to put their skills to the test, but also submerged the people in their culture.
We're done with the leg wrestling. We'll go ahead and start with the blanket toss. Yep. We haven't yet. Come on, boys.
Day 3 of the trade fair was a day to reflect back on the old days when hundreds of Inupiaq people would journey to the Kotzebue region and come together for trade and commerce. It was also a time to celebrate another year, another successful season, and to celebrate being Inupiaq. Even Pastor Wilford Lane got up and showed his heritage with pride.
The Kotzebue elders suggested to the Wellness Planning Committee to revive or have the trade fair as part of our wellness program to show that by leading a well life, you can be athletically good to do this games of skill and endurance. It would show that you can gather the food needed for the potluck and the feast tonight, and of course Eskimo dancing. You know, so basically the wellness message that we want to send and tell about is the Inupiaq values that the Nana region has put together. There's 18 values that we use to lead a good life.
These values are knowledge of language, knowledge of family tree, sharing, humility, respect for others, love for children, cooperation, hard work, respect for elders, respect for nature, avoid conflict, family roles, humor, spirituality, domestic skills, hunter success, responsibility to tribe. It's through understanding and practicing these values that the Inupiaq people have kept their culture alive and well into the 21st century. Elder Claude Wilson Jr. recalls the early days of the trade fair and the great distances that people traveled to be part of this Inupiaq celebration.
Hunters from all the way to Chukotka, Sailing Point, Inupiaq, Nervik, they come to Kotzebue when they meet together. Everybody feasts, all kinds of food. Trade, atumaga, rope, anything. Sealskins, anything they trade for. The ones come down from Silvik, Sangnak, Kobuk, Kayan, they all trade for those seal poke, anything for those seal hunters.
When we were growing up, we've heard that, and I noticed some people that went come down with what they've got from upriver or some from other places, not only from upriver. They come down for what they've got, what the people don't have down here. Like some people up there dried some fish and dried meat and whatever, like from caribou sinews and caribou skins or some other kind of skins that they have up there that they gathered in the winter time, some, and spring and in summertime, that they had gathered to bring and trade for what they have down here, mainly like seal oil, ugruk oil, or whatever oil they've got.
Typically in the past, people used to come here and barter and trade goods like trade seal meat or seal oil from the coast with some of the inland berries or dried fish. So people used to come and trade beads and clothing and food, and it's evolved to where there's a lot more activities, more of a Western type of activities, but the friendship, the kinship, the being together, the bartering, the celebration is still here. But things change, you know, we're doing different things. Instead of using skin kayaks like we used to for competitions, now, you know, we buy fiberglass or plastic from Walmart, but there's the change with some of the tools that we're using. But the gathering and the people getting together is still the same.
Although the youth attending the trade fair today do not share the same memories as their elders, they do share the same values. This was easily noticeable as Pauline Nay, who was crowned Miss Arctic Circle, and Chelsi Matthews, Miss Teen Arctic Circle, went out of their way to help with the events and make sure that the people attending the trade fair were taken care of.
I just did whatever had to be done. I told a lady who was really generous to buy it, the water and the cups, and I just distributed all the water and the cups with her, and with Miss Teen helped. So we just gave out water, and I bought some of my auntas and tatas, some donuts and coffee on the side of that.
For the past few days, I've been helping with the trade fair. In any way I can, whether it be help the MC or today I helped serve food. I kept score for the 1-foot high kick for both men and women, and I kept the time for the kayak race.
Thank you very much, everybody. In living memory of my father, Lawrence Kaleak, Barrow.
In the Eskimo dance competition, Barrow's Inupiaq dancers would take home the banner.
We got first place. We got that banner, first place.
The trade fair was truly an event that took the participation of the entire community to be a success. And what better way to end the trade fair than to have all the drummers and dancers join together in song and dance. In a thunderous explosion, the drums of several tribes joined together to create a sound that will never be forgotten as elders and youth alike danced and sang the songs of their ancestors. Thank you everyone for joining us for Heartbeat Alaska Native News, Native Information. It's my pleasure to bring you this program. Give us a call, 907-563-7440, if you'd like us to visit your village. God bless every one of you, and join me again for more Native News next week.
Major sponsorship for the 2004 Kattivik Northwest Native Trade Fair was provided by the Western Arctic National Parklands and the Northwest Arctic Borough.